Welcome back to your channel name Stoic Quartz. In today's video, we're diving deep into a topic every high-value man needs to master: spotting the signs when a woman might be playing you. Whether you're building your confidence, working on yourself, or aiming to find someone who truly values you, understanding these red flags is essential. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to protect your time, energy, and emotions so you can focus on relationships that genuinely add value to your life. Let's get into it. Let me know if you'd like me to adjust the tone or add any specific call to action. Number 1. Disrespect for boundaries. Disrespect for boundaries is a profound issue that undermines personal space, autonomy, and mutual respect in relationships, whether they are personal, professional, or casual. Boundaries, both physical and emotional, serve as the invisible framework that allows individuals to feel safe, respected, and valued in their interactions. When these boundaries are disrespected, it can lead to feelings of discomfort, vulnerability, and even trauma. Disrespecting someone's boundaries can manifest in a variety of ways, from physical intrusions like unwanted touch or invasion of personal space, to emotional violations such as dismissing a person's feelings, manipulating their decisions, or demanding more from them than they are comfortable giving. Such behavior often stems from a lack of awareness, empathy, or disregard for another's needs, and it can be toxic if left unchecked. One of the key elements of respecting boundaries is understanding that they are not static. They can change over time and vary greatly from person to person. For instance, what may be acceptable to one person in terms of communication frequency or personal interaction might be uncomfortable or intrusive to someone else. This is why it is crucial to communicate openly about boundaries and to listen actively when others express their limits. Disrespecting boundaries often stems from an imbalance of power or a lack of consideration for another's feelings and well-being. In some cases, it is intentional, aimed at controlling or manipulating the other person, while in other cases, it arises from ignorance or a failure to recognize the signals that someone is uncomfortable. The consequences of boundary violations are far-reaching. They can lead to damaged relationships, a loss of trust, and emotional distress. Victims of boundary violations may struggle with feelings of anxiety, resentment, and low self-esteem, often questioning their worth or ability to assert themselves. On a societal level, when boundaries are consistently ignored or disrespected, it fosters an environment where power dynamics become skewed and people may feel unsafe or undervalued. Learning to respect boundaries, both in words and actions, is essential for fostering healthy, supportive relationships. It involves being aware of the signals others send, being attuned to their comfort zones, and being willing to make adjustments when necessary, creating a culture of mutual respect and understanding. Number 2. Inconsistent behavior. Inconsistent behavior refers to a pattern of actions or reactions that are unpredictable, erratic, or contradictory, often causing confusion or frustration in those around the individual. This behavior can manifest in many forms, such as fluctuating moods, contradictory statements, or an inability to follow through on commitments. People displaying inconsistent behavior may appear charming and kind one moment, then cold or indifferent the next, leaving others uncertain about how to interact with them. This inconsistency can extend to various aspects of life, such as work, relationships, and decision-making, making it difficult for others to understand the person's true intentions or motivations. The causes of inconsistent behavior can be numerous, ranging from internal factors such as mental health issues, emotional instability, or stress, to external factors like changing environments or social pressures. In some cases, people may not even be aware of their erratic behavior, as they may be influenced by underlying factors they do not fully comprehend. For example, someone dealing with anxiety or depression may experience fluctuating levels of energy and enthusiasm, leading to moments of intense productivity, followed by periods of withdrawal or disengagement. In relationships, inconsistent behavior can be especially damaging. When one partner behaves unpredictably, It can lead to feelings of insecurity, confusion, and doubt in the other. Trust, a foundational element of any healthy relationship, can erode as a result, leading to communication breakdowns and emotional distance. Inconsistent behavior can also affect professional relationships, where colleagues may find it difficult to collaborate or rely on someone who doesn't consistently meet expectations or follow through on commitments. This may impact productivity and create an atmosphere of uncertainty. For individuals who exhibit inconsistent behavior, recognizing the pattern and understanding its underlying causes is an important first step toward change. Therapy, self-reflection, and open communication with others can help address the root causes and bring about more consistent actions. On the other hand, those who are on the receiving end of inconsistent behavior may need to set boundaries and practice patience, but also recognize when it becomes necessary to distance themselves for their own mental and emotional well-being. Ultimately, consistency fosters trust, stability, and mutual respect, and can be key to nurturing healthier relationships in all areas of life. Number 3. Playing the victim. Playing the victim is a manipulative strategy used by individuals to gain sympathy, attention, or special treatment, often by exaggerating or fabricating their hardships. It involves portraying oneself as powerless or wronged, regardless of the actual circumstances. This behavior can manifest in both personal relationships and larger social contexts, where the individual consistently positions themselves as the one who suffers, disregarding their own role in the situation. Playing the victim is a psychological tactic that manipulates the emotions of others, making them feel responsible for the victim's well-being or discomfort. At its core, playing the victim is a form of avoidance. Instead of addressing personal flaws, mistakes, or responsibility, the individual deflects accountability and shifts the blame onto external forces or others. This can stem from a variety of underlying factors, such as low self-esteem, a desire for control, or a deep fear of rejection. For some, playing the victim provides a sense of security and validation. They receive attention, support, and sometimes even pity, which may temporarily fulfill emotional needs. However, this behavior can have negative consequences. It can strain relationships as people may grow tired of the constant need for validation or sympathy. Over time, others may start to see through the manipulation and feel resentful or emotionally drained. In a workplace, for example, a person who constantly plays the victim may alienate colleagues or create a toxic environment by fostering a culture of blame and helplessness. It can also prevent personal growth, as the individual fails to take ownership of their actions or learn from their mistakes. The key to overcoming the tendency to play the victim lies in self-awareness and personal responsibility. Recognizing the urge to adopt a victim mentality and understanding its impact on relationships and well-being is the first step. By learning to accept personal responsibility, an individual can shift from a mindset of blame and helplessness to one of empowerment and growth. In the long run, this shift leads to healthier interactions and greater emotional resilience, as individuals take charge of their lives rather than letting circumstances define them. Number 4. Excessive flattery. Excessive flattery is a behavior that involves over-the-top praise, often to the point of insincerity or manipulation. While compliments can be a powerful tool for building relationships and boosting self-esteem, when they are given excessively, they lose their authenticity and can even become counterproductive. At its core, flattery is meant to express admiration or affection, but when it crosses into excess, it can seem disingenuous, creating a sense of discomfort or suspicion in the recipient. In many cases, people who engage in excessive flattery may do so with ulterior motives, whether to gain favor, manipulate, or influence the other person for personal gain. This kind of behavior is typically easy to spot because it often feels overdone or exaggerated, with comments that seem exaggerated or detached from reality. The dangers of excessive flattery lie in its ability to distort relationships. The recipient may begin to doubt whether the praise is genuine or if they are being used. Trust can erode quickly when people suspect they are being manipulated through flattery, which can undermine the potential for a sincere connection. Furthermore, excessive flattery can lead to a sense of entitlement, as the individual being flattered may come to expect constant praise, leading to unrealistic self-perceptions or inflated egos. This can, in turn, result in an unhealthy dynamic where the person receiving the excessive flattery is unable to differentiate between genuine admiration and self-serving praise. Flattery can also have detrimental effects on the person doing the flattering. When used excessively, it can become a crutch, causing the flatterer to neglect the development of more meaningful and authentic relationships. Instead of building connections based on mutual respect and understanding, relationships based on excessive flattery often lack substance and are built on shallow foundations. In extreme cases, those who frequently flatter may lose sight of their own values or sense of authenticity, prioritizing the approval of others above their true self. Ultimately, while a well-timed, sincere compliment can strengthen relationships, excessive flattery should be avoided. The key to healthy, respectful interactions lies in offering genuine praise that acknowledges the value of others without overstepping into the realm of manipulation or insincerity. Number 5. Emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation is a form of psychological control where an individual uses deceptive tactics to influence another person's emotions, behaviors, or perceptions for their personal gain. It often operates subtly, making it difficult for the victim to recognize the manipulation until they are deeply affected. The manipulator may employ guilt, fear, shame, or sympathy to push the victim into a state of emotional dependency, thereby controlling their actions and decisions. One common tactic used is gaslighting, where the manipulator distorts reality, making the victim question their memory, perception, or sanity. This causes the victim to become uncertain of themselves, gradually eroding their confidence and sense of reality. Another method is the love bombing, where the manipulator overwhelms the victim with excessive affection and attention at the start of a relationship, creating a false sense of closeness and trust. Once the emotional bond is strong, the manipulator starts to demand compliance, shifting the dynamics to one of control. The manipulator may also exploit vulnerabilities such as past traumas or insecurities to gain leverage. They might use phrases like, "If you really loved me, you would do this for me," or manipulate situations to make the victim feel responsible for their emotional well-being. This induces a cycle of emotional highs and lows, where the victim constantly seeks approval, fearing rejection or abandonment. The damage from emotional manipulation can be long-lasting, leading to anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem in the victim. Victims often find it challenging to break free from the manipulation, especially when the manipulator's behavior is masked under the guise of love, care, or concern. In the worst cases, the victim may feel isolated, unable to trust their own judgment, and dependent on the manipulator for emotional validation. Recognizing emotional manipulation is the first step towards regaining control over one's emotions and relationships. Setting clear boundaries, seeking external support, and developing emotional awareness can help individuals protect themselves from falling prey to manipulative tactics. Number 6. Lack of accountability. Lack of accountability is a pervasive issue in various spheres of life, from personal relationships to professional environments, and even within societal structures. When individuals or organizations fail to take responsibility for their actions or decisions, it creates a ripple effect of consequences that can undermine trust, hinder progress, and contribute to a culture of complacency. In the workplace, a lack of accountability can lead to missed deadlines, poor performance, and a toxic environment. Without a system of checks and balances, employees may feel disengaged or unmotivated, knowing that there will be no consequences for underperformance or lack of initiative. This, in turn, can affect the morale of others who are pulling their weight, as they may feel their efforts are unappreciated and the overall goals are compromised. In governance and public institutions, the absence of accountability can have far-reaching implications. When leaders and officials fail to answer for their actions, corruption, inefficiency, and a lack of transparency become rampant. Citizens may lose faith in the system, which can result in decreased civic engagement and apathy towards important social or political issues. Furthermore, when accountability is absent, it becomes easier for systemic problems to persist. Unchecked behaviors, whether it's the misuse of public funds or the failure to address pressing issues like inequality, can continue unchecked, worsening the situation for vulnerable populations. On a personal level, the lack of accountability in an individual can lead to a pattern of blame shifting, evasion, and dishonesty. When one does not take ownership of their mistakes, it stunts their personal growth and prevents them from learning from their experiences. This lack of self-reflection can hinder emotional maturity, making it harder to build meaningful relationships based on trust and mutual respect. Ultimately, accountability is a cornerstone of integrity, growth, and progress. Whether in the workplace, government, or in personal lives, taking responsibility for one's actions promotes a sense of fairness, reliability, and transparency. It fosters a culture where individuals and groups strive for excellence and are motivated to correct course when needed. Without it, stagnation and resentment can take hold, creating barriers to achieving true success and fostering a productive and healthy environment. Number 7. Using sex to control. Using sex as a tool of control is a deeply ingrained social phenomenon that spans across cultures and histories, often tied to power dynamics, manipulation, and the distortion of intimate relationships. In many instances, sex is used not as a means of mutual pleasure or connection, but as a mechanism to assert dominance, gain influence, or force compliance. This manipulation can occur in various contexts, from personal relationships to larger societal structures. One of the most common forms of using sex to control is through emotional or psychological manipulation, where one party uses the threat of withholding or offering sexual attention to influence the other's actions or decisions. This can create unhealthy dynamics, where one person feels powerless and subjugated, while the other feels empowered and entitled. In romantic or sexual relationships, control through sex can manifest as emotional blackmail, where a partner uses sex as a bargaining chip to get something in return, whether it's affection, loyalty, or compliance with their wishes. This often leads to an imbalance of power, where one person feels obligated to give up their agency in the relationship. In abusive relationships, sexual manipulation can be even more dangerous, as it may escalate to coercion, assault, or exploitation. The manipulation of sex in such contexts is not about mutual desire, but about the abuse of power to maintain control and dominance over the other person. On a societal level, sex can be weaponized through media and cultural representations that normalize the use of sex to sell products, create inequality, or maintain gender roles. Women, in particular, are often objectified, reduced to their sexual appeal, and expected to conform to certain beauty standards or sexual roles. This reinforces systems of control where individuals are not seen as whole beings, but as tools or commodities for others to use and manipulate. Ultimately, using sex to control others diminishes the potential for healthy, respectful, and consensual relationships. It strips away autonomy, fosters inequality, and perpetuates harmful cycles of manipulation and abuse. Understanding the power dynamics at play in sexual interactions is essential for promoting a culture of mutual respect, where consent and personal agency are at the forefront of every interaction. Number 8. Testing your patience. Testing your patience is an inevitable part of life that often arises in moments of frustration, delay, or unmet expectations. It's easy to become impatient when things don't go as planned, whether it's waiting in a long line, dealing with a technical issue, or facing obstacles that impede progress. In these situations, we may find ourselves wanting to give up or lash out, but these moments present an opportunity for growth. The ability to practice patience in the face of adversity not only enhances our emotional resilience, but also helps us develop a deeper sense of understanding and empathy for others. When we're confronted with challenges, patience requires a conscious decision to remain calm, composed and optimistic, even when it seems like everything is falling apart. It's easy to become overwhelmed by the sense of urgency or frustration, but taking a step back and recognizing that delays or struggles are part of the human experience can shift our perspective. Patience teaches us to look beyond the immediate discomfort and focus on the long-term rewards that will follow. Whether it's the satisfaction of completing a difficult project or the joy of finally reaching your destination after a long journey, patience is the key to enduring and appreciating the process. Furthermore, testing your patience can have profound effects on your relationships. In today's fast-paced world, we are often in a hurry and expect immediate results, which can create tension between ourselves and others. Practicing patience, however, allows us to engage with others more thoughtfully, making room for understanding, compassion, and mutual respect. By allowing people the time they need to express themselves or work through their own challenges, we show that we value their journey as much as our own. Ultimately, testing your patience is not about suppressing frustration or ignoring your emotions, but about learning how to handle them with grace. It's about choosing to respond calmly and wisely, even in situations where impatience might feel justified. As we cultivate patience, we can improve not only our ability to cope with setbacks, but also our capacity to live more fully in the present moment, embracing life's challenges with an open heart and mind. Number 9. Being vague about her intentions. Being vague about one's intentions can be a powerful, albeit frustrating, tactic in human interactions. At its core, vagueness allows someone to navigate situations with a level of flexibility and mystery that can make others unsure of where they stand. This uncertainty can create a sense of intrigue, making people gravitate toward the person for fear of missing out on something they can't fully understand. However, the act of being vague often carries a deeper implication. It allows the individual to withhold crucial information, giving them control over how much of their true feelings or plans are revealed. When someone is vague about their intentions, it can make it difficult for others to discern their motivations or desires. They may use ambiguous language, avoid direct answers, or shift the conversation when it edges too close to the heart of the matter. This can be intentional or instinctual. Some people are naturally evasive due to fear of confrontation or vulnerability, while others may use vagueness as a deliberate strategy to test the waters or keep their options open. In either case, the result is often the same. The other person is left in a state of confusion or uncertainty, constantly guessing what the individual truly wants or intends. In romantic relationships, being vague about one's intentions can be especially harmful. One person might be unsure of their feelings and hesitant to commit, but rather than being honest and clear about it, they may leave the other person in a constant state of doubt. The lack of clarity can lead to frustration, miscommunication, and emotional turmoil. It may also leave the other party feeling insecure, as they are unable to fully understand whether the relationship is something meaningful or just a passing phase. The ambiguity creates a power imbalance, where one person holds all the cards, while the other is left to interpret their actions and words. Ultimately, while being vague can serve as a tool for avoiding uncomfortable situations or maintaining personal boundaries, it is also a double-edged sword. Over time, the lack of transparency can erode trust and create lasting emotional strain, as others may feel misled or manipulated. Clarity and honesty are often the best way to build strong, meaningful connections, as they foster mutual understanding and respect. Number 10. Creating drama. Creating drama in storytelling is an art that hinges on the balance of conflict, character development, and emotional stakes. At its core, drama is about presenting situations where characters are forced to face challenges that push them beyond their limits, causing them to grow, struggle, or break. This tension is the heartbeat of any dramatic narrative, and it often emerges from conflicting desires, moral dilemmas, or external forces that characters cannot control. The first step in creating drama is building complex, multidimensional characters. These characters should have clear goals, motivations, and flaws, which make their decisions and reactions feel authentic. For example, A protagonist who desires to protect their family but is forced to choose between loyalty to their loved ones and moral integrity will create an internal conflict that can drive the emotional core of the story. The audience will be drawn into this tension, rooting for the character's success or dreading their downfall, depending on how the drama unfolds. Next, conflict is key. A strong conflict is often the catalyst for drama, whether it's between characters within a character's mind or against an external force. The nature of the conflict should be compelling, complex, and impactful, requiring characters to make difficult decisions. In some cases, this conflict may involve the clash of values, where one character's worldview directly opposes another's, leading to heightened stakes and uncertainty. In other cases, the conflict can be more external, like a natural disaster, a societal collapse, or a looming deadline, but the character's reactions and emotional responses remain central to the drama. The pacing of the drama also plays a crucial role. A well-timed buildup of tension and moments of release can make the dramatic moments hit harder. Often the quiet moments of introspection, when characters reflect on their struggles, are just as important as the more explosive confrontations. These moments give the audience time to connect with the characters and their inner turmoil, making the eventual resolution, whether positive or negative, more satisfying or tragic. Ultimately, creating drama is about crafting a story that makes the audience feel invested in the outcome. Through relatable characters, compelling conflicts, and well-paced emotional beats, drama has the power to evoke deep emotions, challenge perspectives, and resonate long after the story ends. Now that you're armed with these 10 signs, you can navigate relationships with more awareness and confidence. Remember, high-value men know their worth, set boundaries, and recognize when they're being played. It's all about staying true to yourself and not letting anyone undermine your value. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more insightful content like this. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Stay sharp, stay high value, and never settle for less than you deserve.